E3 has sadly come to a close, and oh boy do I have a lot to talk about. It was a pretty good E3, a lot of cool stuff was revealed, along with a few disappointments. So with this video, I'm going to go through each event at the convention, and tell you guys what I liked, what I disliked, and what I thought could have been done better. I cannot emphasize this enough, this is not a review video, or anything of that sort. It's what I liked and disliked about the conferences. Personal opinions. Just because I didn't like something, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, and vice versa. It just means that I'm a human being with their own likes and dislikes. Please try to keep that in mind, okay? Also, while I'm going to tell you who I think quote-unquote won E3, I'm only using that phrasing to say who I think had the best conference. I'm not trying to insult the others. I agree with the view that gamers win E3, because we get cool games for all consoles. True gamers shouldn't care about which console is better. Alright, first event of E3 was the Smash livestream, which I've already covered extensively in my previous video. It was pretty cool, but it would have easily been the highlight of E3 for me, if it hadn't been leaked prior. After the Smash livestream was the Nintendo World Championships, returning after a 25-year absence. And after watching it, I can't believe it took this long to bring it back. This entire event was brilliant. The surprise reveal of Earthbound, of all things, testing people's knowledge of various Nintendo games, and showcasing Super Mario Maker in the best way they could have possibly come up with. This event actually got me excited to try Super Mario Maker, a game that until now, I really didn't care about. I wasn't planning on even doing a review of the game, but now I'm definitely going to do that, and I'm considering making videos of me playing through levels that you guys send me. That could be a ton of fun. Or infuriating. Please be nice to me. That's a totally original idea of mine that I definitely did not steal from Gerard the Completionist. Anyways, the championships were brilliant. Nintendo, please make this an annual thing. It was your best event at E3 by far. After that came the first press conference, Bethesda's, who showed off high-profile games like Fallout 4 and the new Doom game. Now, I'm sure these games are going to be fun, and their target audiences will love them, but there was nothing shown at their conference that interested me in the slightest. I've never played Doom, never played Fallout. I'm sorry if that offends you. It was a very good conference, I enjoyed watching it, but I ultimately didn't care about anything shown. Next was Microsoft. I don't and have never owned an Xbox product. Microsoft consoles are easily my least favorite of the bunch, so I didn't have high hopes for them. But I was actually pleasantly surprised by this conference. There was a ton of stuff that I didn't care about, Halo, Gears of War, Forza, Tom Clancy, and many others, but there were several games shown that actually made me wish I had an Xbox One. The biggest announcement, for me at least, was the announcement of ReCore, a game being made by the same people who created Mega Man and Metroid Prime. I wasn't too stoked about the game at first, but after seeing Nintendo's Metroid announcement, which I'll rant about later, I regret not having an Xbox One to play this. Dark Souls 3 perked my interest. I've never actually played a Dark Souls game, but I hear they are stupidly hard, and I enjoy a good challenge. Cuphead looks absolutely amazing, combining bullet hell gameplay with the classic animation style of old cartoons. Brilliant! I cared more about this game than most of Microsoft's AAA titles combined! Rare announced the Rare Replay Collection, which is a giant compilation of 30 classic Rare games. As someone who has never played a Rare game, if I had the money, I would get an Xbox One just for this game. They also showed off a new game called Sea of Thieves. Tons of people were upset that this wasn't a Banjo game, or Battletoads, or something of that sort, but I like the look of it. Joining up with friends and battling others on the high seas sounds extremely fun. To end their conference, Microsoft showed off a version of Minecraft utilizing a virtual reality headset. Personally, this blew my mind. I felt like I was looking directly at the future. I don't know how fun this would actually be, and I don't think Minecraft is the best game to utilize it, but it looks really damn impressive. I hope they bring the technology to games like StarCraft and Civilization. Just the idea of commanding troops with my hands and voice makes me giddy. It has the potential to be so much fun. All in all, I enjoyed Microsoft Conference a lot more than I thought I would. Could have used a bit more gameplay and less cinematic trailers, and the car showcase was hilariously unnecessary. but the rest was really good. They ended up being one of my favorite conferences at the show. After Microsoft was EA. EA has had a history of being my least favorite conference on the show floor. They focus way too much on sports games, which I do not find remotely fun. But this time around, I was hoping for something better, because this time around, they had Star Wars Battlefront. And they knew this, because they saved that until the very end, and kept hinting at it in order to keep people's attention. It was so annoying. I only cared about Battlefront coming into this conference, but the game I ended up liking the most was actually a new platformer called Unravel. This game is adorable. The presenter was so genuine, and it looks really charming and fun. I will definitely be buying this when it comes out. And then, after an eternity of sports games, they showed Battlefront. I'd been hearing so many bad things about this new Battlefront game. That there wouldn't be space battles, that there were only 4 planets, that there wouldn't be any content from the prequel trilogy. I've been quickly losing interest in this game, and I was hoping that this showcase would restore my faith in it. And it really didn't. I'm still so worried about this game. It looks like the previous games will be so much better. But at least it looks fun. Ubisoft followed EA, and I have to say that Ubisoft was the biggest disappointment for me out of all the conferences at E3. Granted, that's because the only thing I wanted at the Ubisoft conference was a new Rayman game, which they failed to deliver. But even then, nothing held my interest. A bunch of shooter games, several cringe-worthy moments, and another, probably broken Assassin's Creed game. There was nothing I enjoyed out of this conference. The only thing that even caused me to pay attention was the new For Honor game, and even that didn't excite me that much. But thankfully, Sony came after Ubisoft. To put it bluntly, Sony won E3, by a landslide. Anyone who thinks otherwise is either delusional or didn't watch the conference. I have never owned a Sony console, but this conference pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to be buying a PS4 at some point in the future. Don't know how I'll get the money, but I need it! This started with finally reviving The Last Guardian, a game that's been in development hell for the past several years, and almost everyone, including me, thought it was cancelled for good. I'm super excited for this game. I loved Shadow of the Colossus, and this is being made by the same people. I don't think it will live up to the hype it's made for itself. After how long it's taken to make, I don't think that's possible, but who cares? I think I'll enjoy it. They immediately followed Last Guardian with a beautiful-looking, brand-new IP, set in a post-apocalyptic Earth where machines are now dinosaurs and humans have reverted to tribes scattered across the Earth, and I don't understand most of it, but I want to play it so bad! The next thing that caught my attention was No Man's Sky. I've heard bits and snippets about this game, but I hadn't really looked into it that much. I didn't really care about it. This showcase changed that, and it blew my mind in the process. This game is enormous. I don't think any other game I've seen even comes close, and it's only being made by a handful of people. And as I was trying to pick up the pieces of my brain after No Man's Sky, it was again blown by the next game, Dreams. I don't even know how to properly explain this game, but it floored me that they were able to create a game like this. You literally make dreams, and it's, well, beautiful. There's no other word to describe it. Then, after a hilarious trailer for a new mystery game...
It doesn't seem that dangerous. Whoa, whoa! Ah, no!
Henry!
Seriously, it's completely fine in here.
Damn it.
And some info on a few games that I didn't care about, we get some Final Fantasy news. First was a brand new chibi Final Fantasy game that looks to play like the traditional Final Fantasy games of old, so I'll probably enjoy it. But that's not the important thing, because after that, they won E3. Final Fantasy VII is finally getting a remake. Not a graphical upgrade, not a port, it's a full-blown, long-awaited, beautiful remake. Final Fantasy VII is one of the most iconic and groundbreaking games of all time, but it hasn't aged very well. Meaning the fact that we are finally getting a remake is awesome. Please don't screw this up, Square Enix. I've wanted this for so long. I have the video to prove it. Go watch that if you haven't. Actually, no, don't. Please. After the Final Fantasy VII reveal, Sony could have just dropped the mic and walked off the stage, and this still would have been the best conference at E3. But no, it was only halfway done, because they decided to reveal Shenmue 3.
Dude, this is a crazy conference.
I've never even played a Shenmue game, and I know how big of a deal this is. People have been asking for a Shenmue sequel longer than they have for a Final Fantasy VII remake. It's being funded by Kickstarter. It hit its $2 million goal in just a few hours, and broke the entire Kickstarter website in the process. That was their last big announcement that I legitimately cared about. There were other impressive things shown. Sony stole the Call of Duty reveal from Microsoft, they showed additional Battlefront footage, which was cool, and ended it off with Uncharted 4. But even though I didn't care about the rest of the games, apart from Battlefront, I was still hyped throughout the entire conference. The previous announcements had that much of an impact on me. This was easily the best conference of E3, hands down. Which made it so much harder to see Nintendo's conference the next day. I didn't expect them to beat Sony, and I tried to lower my expectations a bit because of that, but even then, Nintendo's event just filled me with disappointment. I find it funny going to the comment sections of the new Nintendo trailers on YouTube, because you can immediately tell the fans apart from the fanboys. This was a poorly constructed event, guys. There's no way around that. They spent way too long talking about individual games, several of which shouldn't have even been in the Direct. They had several disappointing announcements, several stupid announcements, third-party support was almost non-existent, and they had one of the worst endings I've ever seen for a Direct. Yet people are trying to defend it because it's Nintendo. Let's see, what was disappointing about this event? First off, they spent way too much time talking about things that shouldn't have even been in the event. The Fire Emblem trailers, Yoshi's Woolly World, spending such a long time talking about Mario's 30th anniversary, the developer stories, the ending that ultimately amounted to nothing. It all felt like filler content to me, and I didn't like it. Then they had several disappointing announcements, probably the most prominent being the Animal Crossing Wii U game, as it was A, the only new Wii U title revealed other than a sports game that I couldn't care less about, and B, a freaking party game! What? When people said they wanted a Wii U Animal Crossing game, this is not what they meant, Nintendo. I really hated this. It made it look like Nintendo's just giving up on the Wii U. They even confirmed later in an interview that we probably won't even get another Metroid game until the next console generation. I mean, come on. I don't even like Animal Crossing, and I felt so sorry for those that have been eagerly anticipating a new game. Add in how Amiibo seem to be required to play the game, and it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Backing up a little bit, let's talk about Metroid. We finally get the announcement of a new Metroid game! Yes! Awesome! I've been waiting for a new Metroid game for so long! Except this is a spin-off. On the 3DS. Now, I'm not quite as mad as most people are on the internet. The game looks like it could at least be fun, and this petition to cancel the game is going way too far. But come on, Nintendo! We've been waiting for a proper Metroid game for years, and this is what we get after all that waiting. Add in the fact that they outright stated that the next 3D Metroid probably won't be coming until the NX, and this just feels like a huge slap to the face to Metroid fans. It wasn't all bad, though. There was the new Mario RPG crossover, Star Fox, the new 3DS Zelda, teaming up with the Muppets was brilliant, and we finally got a Xenoblade release date. But that only took up about a fourth of the entire event. The rest of the time, I was just sitting there, eagerly awaiting a new game that I get hyped for, but a game like that never came. And the digital event ended with the entire internet scratching their heads in disbelief. That this was it? This was all Nintendo had to show? I won't claim Nintendo had a bad E3 showing. They also had the Smash Bros. Livestream. If that hadn't been leaked beforehand, it would have completely counterbalanced my disappointment. The indie game they showed during the Nintendo Treehouse is the closest we've gotten to an F-Zero game in years, and the Nintendo World Championships, which gave us Earthbound beginnings and actually got me excited to play Mario Maker, was amazing. But overall, this definitely wasn't Nintendo's best E3. It wasn't their worst, but definitely not one of their best. But at least they weren't as bad as Square Enix. Oh my god, this conference was abysmal. The only thing I remotely cared about was Kingdom Hearts 3, which they spent ages building up, with constant teases and this terrifying person, only to show a tiny gameplay demonstration, and revealing that there would be a Tangled world in the game. Like, seriously? Tangled? I like that movie too, but that's the best you got? No Star Wars? Marvel? Nothing? Fine. That was it. Everything else was just endless talking. I actually ended up muting the conference and played Smash Bros on my 3DS. And I continued doing that when the PC Gaming Show started. I was so excited for this. I love PC gaming so much, and one of my favorite StarCraft commentators was hosting the show. Pity that it ran for over 2 hours. This was so boring. So boring. Not as bad as Squares, because at least Day 9 is entertaining, but it was so long. Really, the only reason I even stayed around was to see what Blizzard was revealing. Which, of course, wasn't until the very end of the stream. And what they revealed wasn't much. Still, it got me excited, which is more than some of the other conferences can claim, and it was a good first attempt at having a PC gaming show. I'm hoping they continue doing this and fix the mistakes they made in the future. And that's it. There was some good, some bad. Ultimately, not the best E3, but definitely not the worst either. And I can't think of anything else to say here. So thank you all for watching, I hope you're all enjoying life, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!